Hi everyone. Today I have Baso, founder of Sisanda Tech. So you're probably wondering why we have him today. So I'll start with a bit of an intro. So there's been a projection that there will be significant number of jobs available in the science, technology, and engineering and mathematics, in the future for learners seeking jobs in this sector. However, as we know it, majority of learners in South Africa define maths and science as difficult subjects, so much
Yes.
so that they opt not choosing careers in these fields as they've developed a negative attitude towards them. But honestly, do we blame them when most of the public schools in South Africa don't have proper, if any, science facilities? So today I have Baso, like I said, from Sisanda, and he's planning to level the playing fields when it comes to access to technology to actually enable learning in this field. So Baso, how are you?
My brother, I'm good. Cannot complain, my leader. And thank you so much for you guys to bring me to your platform. And I know we've been trying to do this film, and apologies of my flip update that I sent you guys. You know what happens, but anyway, I'm glad I'm here. And it's quite a sad thing that you actually realize like how much of us get excluded from actually doing the stuff that will actually benefit us in the future, you know. So I come from a public school, and what I'm trying to solve, it's not something that I've read from a journal that is coming from academia or something, but it's something that I've actually went and enjoyed and have seen like the impact of that, you know, from all those point of view. So I've always been like super competitive learner. And every time in our class that was physical science or life science, I always have to make sure that my point is heard. But unfortunately, all we have to do, we have to imagine stuff. You know, we are not seeing what we are not actually get to see the stuff that we are taught about. We just have to
Mm,
imagine and think and take everything. And luckily, if we had our teacher we can draw on the board, we'd actually see the visuals on the
mm,
board, but we never get to do science experiment. But immediately when you get to varsity, you tend to realize that those who come from properly technical schools or those who come from well equipped schools actually spend less time on the lab because this thing they had a taste of this thing before they come here. As
mm.
here we are sweating leadership, we are sweating, we're trying to figure out how does this equipment work, how does this thing work. We are
Yeah.
sitting, you know, and that's when I realized like I have all my nephews. I mean, one is out of the school system now, but two of them, they're still in the public. Actually, a lot of my nephews, they're still on the public system, you know. So I wanted
Mm.
to develop a platform where they can be able to experiment, they can be able to get used to these concepts without actually having a science facility. That's why we created our app called Sisanda App Universe.
That's awesome. And I think, yeah, you gave me a mouthful there, and there's so many questions that I have. You told me a bit about your upbringing.
Yeah.
Let's dive into that a bit more. I know you're from Botshabelo. I'm from Tabanchu, by the way.
Hey,
So
Chief. You're from here.
yes,
You
yes.
know, we
So
need that showback now. We don't know each other.
so yeah, it's very interesting. Can you tap in just on your upbringing, where you're from, the type of neighborhood you grew up in? And I know you touched on a bit around, your experience in school, but just tell us a bit about your background.
Yeah. So I'm from Botshabelo. Botshabelo, I mean, there's a debate between people of Madanzani.
Mm,
If you meet from people from Danzani, they think like Madanzani is a It's a
Biggest
second
council. Yeah.
co-internship after Soweto, but it always points out to Botshabelo that we are actually bigger after Soweto. It's us, you know. So we come from Botshabelo. I spend most of my time in Botshabelo, and I could not say I was not a kid, but I was just a normal kid who was doing normal stuff, going to the small lake, they call it Pantani, and you swim there and you do all mischievous stuff that boys are doing as they were growing up.
Yeah.
I was not good in soccer, but I played my fair share in becoming a goalkeeper. But I played basketball most of my time up until when I was doing matric.
Mm.
But grade nine, from there, that's when I started to develop my academic side of stuff. So I won awards in grade nine to be the best student for grade nine. I got my first computer there after I broke so my dad got us a computer earlier on. And sometimes I say, when I speak into other people, say sometimes it's what you see people come to be when they are growing up. It's an access that you got earlier on, you know.
Yeah.
So I
True.
got my computer earlier on, and then I broke that computer left and right with my younger brother. So
Yeah.
and grade 10, grade 9, then I got my own computer now, but I didn't disappoint. I continued to break it because I was curious. You know, you have
Hmm.
to figure out stuff. And then I finished my matric in 2008. Then I went to Durban University of Technology, but I only lasted for 6 months because, hey, man, as much my name as Zulu, my Zulu is bad. It's still even bad even now. That's why when I mean, you know, like it's so sad when you're in Joburg, you're speaking to a Zulu person, like hardcore
Yeah.
Zulu person. They have to switch to English because
Yeah.
they hear your Zulu pop.
Yeah.
You know. So now, I went from DUT and I came from Central University of Technology in the
Okay.
Free State. Then that's when I did most of my studying. And as I was completing my last semester, semester four, then I was awarded the best um, S4 student. I won a couple of awards for that particular year because I was really putting pressure. Because as I said, like competition, it has always been there. So I had a group of students who were doing light current. I did electrical light current. So I had a group of my fellow students who would sit at the back seat of the library there, then you know, and would work day in, day out, you know.
And
So
which
that's
which
when I
year was
managed.
this?
I graduated 2012.
2012. Okay.
Yeah, I graduated 2012. So between 2009 to 2012, that was my, yes. Were you at
Okay.
CUT too?
No, no, no. I was at the University of the Free State. So I was there,
Uh,
yeah,
those
between
guys, those guys who used to train there by Central Park. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, no, no.
nah.
So I was there between 2007 and I think 2012. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you're before me.
So what informed your relocation? How did you come this side? And how did
I
you end
mean,
up? Yeah,
I had like kind of like love and hate with Joburg because
yeah.
after me graduating, then I got internship, broadcasting internship, that eventually led me to work for MultiChoice. So I was there by MultiChoice doing, making sure everybody's signal is good,
Mm,
making sure that no DSTV are going off and all those kind of stuff. But then I started to realize like, this thing is boring.
mm.
Sorry for everybody who work at the same department as me
Yeah,
who's gonna watch this
yeah.
interview. But for me, I started to realize like I'm doing the same thing that I've been doing for the last couple of months. And all the older people that I found in the department, when they getting promotion, they're not going to the department where there is engineering. They're not going to the department where there is creation of some stuff, you know.
Mm,
So what does that mean? It means they are going to other maybe sales department or like some other department that are not engineering related.
mm,
And for me, I felt like no man, I can be doing much stuff. You know, I don't want to be maintaining or monitoring stuff. I need to be building stuff. So 2013, at the age of actual, today is my birthday, so I'm like kind of
Hey,
reflecting.
happy birthday. Happy
Yeah,
birthday. Happy
yeah,
birthday,
yeah.
leader.
Thanks, brother. So it's like 10 years, 52 now. It's like 10 years after I made that, my 22-year-old made a decision to leave that 20K. Hey, that salary was nice, man. I miss it now. That 20K salary, and it's,
Yeah.
we just took a decision like, we don't need the salary, so we're leaving. Then I came back to Botshabelo, ran an NGO, started my business 2014, my first business in 2014. So I've been in and out of Joburg. I've been in and out in Joburg. And I started to be stable around 2019 there to stay in Joburg. 2020 COVID happens. My employees needs to be paid. I can't pay rent. My dad's car get repossessed because it was paid by me. So I have to come back home, and I started a small school here at home to test my app, because now you got kids are not going to school. What do? You bring the kids in your garage. This is scarcity. There's no
Mm,
lot of I mean, kasi even during COVID-19, it was still normal. So,
yeah.
but now kids are going around the streets. I bring them into my garage here, set up a school. I start to teach those kids for COVID.
Mm,
Parents are still happy even now for the contribution that I did. And 2021, I think I returned back to Joburg, and I've been in Joburg ever since. But it has been that on and off relationship.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's very interesting because of when you said you started your business, right?
Yeah.
And you skipped right over to COVID. So I'm wondering, right? But before we get to that part, I'm wondering how you pivoted, right? During, that crisis, or how are the challenges like that impacted your business for you to decide, okay, I'm going to move into a garage, I'm going to start teaching kids. But before we get there, describe just what Sisanda is, you know, um
Mm,
in
yeah.
its yeah, in the broader sense.
So Sisanda Tech is basically, we are on a mission of empowering future scientists to actually have a platform where they can be able to explore their curiosity.
Mm,
It's an app that consists of the reason why we call it Sisanda App Universe, because the aim is we're gonna launch a couple of app that fits together to one vision, right?
okay.
So it's an app that allows learners to be able to experiment those science experiments by just using the technology called augmented reality. So we are able, it gives learners an opportunity to project. If you want to learn about the human heart, you can project in front of you and it feels like it's in the environment, and you can able to dissect it. You can able to do all this cool stuff with that human heart,
Mm,
and I mean, we started to grow and add more content and all this kind of stuff. So basically, if you're having a smartphone and iPad, you basically have a science lab within your pocket that can allow you to learn the basic of anything that you're supposed to be learning at school. So
mm,
we currently, with the help of our Technology Innovation Agency and Department of Science and Innovation, we were able to launch a successful pilot. I'm saying successful is because the feedback that comes from the teachers. I never like to hype up my staff up until the people that I'm helping, they're hyping them up.
yeah.
So with the teachers that are teachers and teachers and principals saying that this thing is helping them.
Mm,
We delivered 80 tablets to four schools that never had tablets before. And these tablets, they already have Sisanda preloaded. So now
mm,
those schools now, they are able to use these tablets and to run the experiments, life science experiments. Now we are
mm,
adding physical science. We are also adding natural science for grade 8 and grade 9,
mm.
based on the pilot, and learners are able to run these experiments.
Hey, that's
So
amazing.
basically,
That's amazing, man. Like,
yes,
and again, I, I, I- I'm glad that you touched on the partnership, and the amount
yeah,
of
yeah,
schools that you've actually sort of, sort of impacted with this app. So how do those partnerships come about? I know you said it was through word of mouth. You don't like to hype up your own application, but take
Yeah,
me through that journey, man. How did those
yeah.
partnerships actually come about?
Okay, I think I'll come to the issue of partnership. I just want to give another thing that actually happened with our product.
Okay.
Just going back to the case that sometimes probably label would probably know I never like to oversell anything. I just want people to actually tell. Maybe it's a lack of insecurities or it's what, I don't know.
Mm,
But it's nice when you hear from people and when you actually see people actually using it. So
mm,
one of our partners, and it's also going to link to the partners thing. One of our
mm,
partners in Zimbabwe, there was a point in Zimbabwe in recent years. There's a portion in Zimbabwe. I keep forgetting the name. So they had floods that
mm,
blocked learners to go to schools. You understand? Learners
mm,
could not go to the schools, and our partners, they took our products and they sent those products there because it was easy for our products to get through to that region.
mm,
And our products were used by almost 3,000 kids who were supposed to be at school, but they could not be at school. You understand? And you could see the reaction from these pictures, how these kids and the teachers around that region were actually embracing what we were doing. You
mm,
understand? And it's just a t-shirt, like one of these t-shirts that I'm wearing, but it was just a t-shirt, two t-shirts, and the small cube that we took. So we took a high-tech technology, and it was sent in the rural areas of Zimbabwe to actually educate. You understand? And when coming to partnership, so I mean, the partnership with Technology Innovation Agency, it's actually quite an interesting one because they met me while I was still building the prototype. And I
mm,
was assisted by other organizations such as NYDA to get this laptop that I'm taking with you.
okay.
And Red Bull came in, but the prototype was built incrementally. And then TIA came with a program called Grassroots Innovation Program. And they give us a nice check to actually support. I mean, they give you a stipend, as
Mm.
an entrepreneur. Once you have a stipend, my brother, you're not worried anymore. You can
Yeah,
focus.
you can think.
Was
Yeah,
it? Yeah, you can think. You don't have to be
yeah,
bothered. If your girl wants, I see you're married. If your wife wants something, you just send an email or something.
yeah, definitely.
So now we started to build that project, and after the program was done, Sisanda App University was on a certain level, and
Okay.
then they came up. We applied for another program called Technology Acquisition Deployment Fund. This was an idea by Department of Science and TIA to say this product that we funded, can we deploy these products in our sister departments like Department of Education? Can
Mm,
we get these products and be deployed there so that our entrepreneurs can get feedback and probably even get a possible sale? You understand?
mm,
So they came in, they provided a nice funding for us to be able to roll out that project. And that's how our partnership was able to grow from that point that we managed to do 5 schools. We managed to provide them with resources. And yeah, I mean, the point of partnership, especially as a startup, you really need a lot of partners to build.
mm,
Some may not come, like now we are working with one partner called Innovator Trust. They may not come with physical money to us, but they are
mm.
now providing us with marketing specialists.
Yes.
How are we packaging our marketing?
Mm,
They've provided us with somebody who can, like now we are testing. Us, we are the testers, we are on the ground, but the business model may not make sense as yet. So they provided somebody to sit with us to work
mm,
on the business model. What value
mm,
are we selling? Who are we actually talking to? Who should we be focusing
mm,
to, and all this kind of stuff. So that's the point of partnership. I mean, you get a lot of partnership that you need. Like now, recently, we are part of Microsoft Startup Founders Hub. So they're providing us with their technology. Us having access to Azure, which is the second biggest cloud in the world
mm,
after AWS. It means now we can be able to develop our products and scale. I mean, scaling is going to be much easier
Easier,
as
yeah.
we're getting demand, you understand?
Mm,
And now Microsoft is making moves, like it's making big moves with ChatGPT and
exactly.
OpenAI. We already have the credits for that. And as
Mm,
an innovative we are as Sisanda Tech, we're probably going to figure out ways on how are we integrating those things coming back to education. So
mm,
partnerships are quite important. And people, I mean, we've been making mistake in the past when we are starting this thing and partnering or collaborating with people. But certain partnership are not worth it. You need to be strategic. You know, I'm
mm,
working on one for Snapchat. I'm strategic why I need that one for Snapchat.
mm,
And somebody could say, but Snapchat is dead. I'm like, you're wrong. Check your statistics. Snapchat has 6 million users. And who are
mm,
those users? Are my target at Sisanda Tech. So that's why I would partner with them. You
mm.
understand? The partnership is quite important. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite important, and honestly, I've learned quite a lot from just you elaborating your experience with them. You know that it's not always in
Yeah.
the form of money, but it's in the form of other things that you can sort of reap the benefits from. I like the Microsoft partnership, and
Yeah.
where they're going with ChatGPT and how that is impacting even institutions of learning. You know
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like technology is moving faster than the pace of education catching up, so people like you can play a major role in that space to make sure that the technology is used appropriately.
Yes.
But like I said, maybe coming back to the point of challenges, I know you said during COVID, you had to sort of re-look at your offering. So tell me a bit about
Mm.
the challenges that Sisanda has gone through over the years.
Hey, but yes. Yeah, I know. No, entrepreneurship is something else. You know, there was one article that I wrote, but I
Mm,
understood why they did. I mean, that I was interviewed for, and I understood why they kind of like changed my weights,
mm,
what they are trying to sell. But there was a question that asked me the that I was asked if I would um inspire or motivate people to do entrepreneurship. And my answer said no. Now that I know better, I will never go around and tell everybody to become entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurship for me, it's like facing the devil on the eye. That's how hard it is. It's
mm,
like just facing this devil on the eye, you know. And we had a lot of challenges. I mean, one day would start to with you as a person, because this thing, it's like literally taxing your mental awareness, I mean, your mental health, and everything is personal to you. You get the
mm,
high, you get your highs are super high, your
mm,
lows are way low, you understand? And people
mm.
will say, don't take it personal, it's just business. I'm like, theoretically, it's nice, but practically, that's not how it is,
Yeah.
because you judge yourself harshly, you know? So, I mean, COVID, you know, when COVID happens, my brother, it happens after the back of me winning MTN Most Innovative Solution in 2019, right?
Mm,
And this time you could imagine, I'm too high, I'm too fly, I'm out there, like you could see the curve, like this is MTN that we're talking about, you
yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
And there is a bigger attention around you now. Local newspapers are writing about you.
Mm,
And my mom is getting all these papers coming, is being called, my mom and dad are being called by family members. Like that, those were the high, because now
yeah.
they're feeling proud. Right? This boy, we were worried 22 years ago. I
Mm,
mean, when he was 22, he's going to mess up his life. But now we
mm,
see things are turning around. And as we are starting to get attraction, we're still going high. It's December, January, it's 2020 now.
mm.
And then
Just before
COVID
it
happens
starts,
in
yeah.
Hey, my brother. Now we are ready. We are ready to execute serious stuff, because now
Mm,
we got all this attention to us. March 2020. we get the announcement and all this kind of stuff. And as the announcement happens, I mean, somebody else who's listening to this thing, they say, "Oh, but you are providing digital education."
Mm.
I'm like, yeah, I'm providing digital education. But one of the things that was hindering our growth was the fact that our app that time was based on physical products that we have to ship
Yeah, I'm
to
with
the
you.
people.
Yeah.
You understand? And when lockdown happens, level 5, no shipping of unwanted stuff. We're gonna focus on shipping of important stuff.
Essentials,
You
yeah.
understand? Yeah. So now I'm staying there by that side of Marshall Town. I'm staying there in my home. You're closed up. You're alone. I mean, you're just talking to the family. You're literally alone. But at the same time, your employees they didn't call for lockdown to happen. You understand?
They're
So
still your
with the bit
employees.
of yeah, there's still the employees with the bit
Mm.
of salary that we have. So now look at the money that I have, and I look at like how what am I gonna do with this? While I'm still there, the car that I was driving, it was my dad's car. They steal the battery outside. The car was still broken. The car just broke the day before lockdown. Like it could not go to it was bearings. It could not
Mm.
go to higher gears. The only gear that it could end is two.
True.
It's
Yes.
sitting there, there's still the battery. I still have to buy the battery and do all these things. So now I took a decision to say, you know what, I've been closed down here alone.
Mm.
Immediately, if it opens, I'm gonna fix the car and go back home. And so that with the money of the rent that I'm supposed to be paying here, because for me it doesn't make sense um, to really rejoice and enjoy my best life, and knowing for sure that people on my phone that are still saying, "Hey, Chief, when are you paying me?" or
Yeah.
all these things. So then I decided, okay, let me sacrifice my lifestyle and get to pay these guys, and it become nice so that we don't have bad blood when we meet. I don't want bad blood. I
Mm.
don't want Sisanda to be built on because people that I worked with at the past, they hated me. So that's when I decided to move back home. Then I got home. I can't sit still. I realized when I'm home that most of these kids are laundering around. Then I called two of them to say, hey, come and I'm going to teach you science and all these things. Then
Mm.
I taught them, they brought the whole class. By the time that 2020 was finished, we probably had a class of 20 learners who were just coming here and learning on each basis. You understand?
Mm.
And that was the challenge number one. Then you move over, you rebuild, you get your money, and as you get your money again and you start to do your stuff, now load shedding happens. Now you end up, hey, my brother, stuff. Now load shedding happens. Other
Yeah.
people could say, but your business is software, it's digital, you don't do
Mm.
nothing. I'm like, but no, think about it. You got employees that you are paying for 8 hours a day, right?
Mm.
But they can only work for 4 hours a day. So it
Mm.
means your output, you meeting the goals, everything
It's
is
exactly
stopping.
half. Yes.
Understand? Our team was big, was team of 9. We're big, but now we are left as team of 3 because now
Mm.
we have to let go of people, because we could not.
Yeah.
With load shedding, it's tough to really meet these people's needs. I mean, it's tough for us to generate revenue and still meet the people stuff. So those challenges, I think the biggest has always been funding, but also self, thyself. It's
Mm.
tough sometimes to control your emotions too, for you to always stay focused and for always making sure that you do cool stuff always, because yeah, it's tough to be consistent, but sometimes you try to get yourself there. But getting the books right, getting the finances right, because me, I like the stuff, and if I want to see something, I'm going to exploit, I'm going to put money on it. And
Mm.
sometimes you lose money like that. And sometimes you still got the stuff to pay. But after all, we learn from those things. Yeah.
Mm. Nice, man. Like, how big is the team now?
Uh, we are currently rebuilding from a
Mm.
team of 3. Um, but probably to get bigger than that. But most of the stuff now I was telling one of my friends, I'm saying, sometimes it's key if you're a tech developer
Mm.
to really be techy, because when situation like this happens, you have to go back on cultivating your own skills.
mm,
The team is at this level. We are busy quite here looking for more resources to see if we cannot bring some of the good members that we had, because I really understand them,
mm.
why they took that decision. And, I really appreciate the work that they did. But we are now at this level, but we're still pushing either way. You understand? We're still pushing. It doesn't
I'm,
even look like we
yeah.
we 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 are having this problem. We're still pushing and trying to get our solution out there.
So, like you said, um, in rebuilding that team, you did
Yeah.
mention that in some of the partnerships that you've had, one of them was how you position yourself in the market. So for somebody that's going to be watching this interview and saying, this is a fantastic product, how do I get my hands on it? Is it
Mm.
for a C2C? Maybe a customer can get your t-shirt, can download the app, start playing around with this thing, or is it strictly for B2B type of, sales. So how does one get access to it?
Uh, that's an interesting question.
Mm,
So we've been advised to go B2B. Apparently B2B is the most we can
lucrative.
quickly reap the benefits and all those kind of things, especially in the economy like ours. Consumers may not necessarily want to spend a couple of their cents on an educational app.
Mm,
So now we are working our way to align our value proposition with business to business, targeting mainly schools, school administrators. It could be somebody from private school, it could be somebody from public school,
mm,
and we working towards those organizations to actually come. I mean, those institutions to have test of our products to actually improve the output in their school and make it simple. Because one thing that you need to understand is for for the school to refurbish one classroom into a lab, it will probably cost them 500,000. And just for them to build a lab from scratch, we are looking at 1 million, right? But still, on top of that, the lab will have all these tools that you have to refill.
mm,
And those tools are costing at most 20,000 to refill those things, right? But with what we are having, you could be having this bundle when it's connected with all apps for 350. You understand? So you it's a huge save cost
mm,
for majority of the schools. You understand that they can be able to use that. And also this doesn't only go for the schools. I mean, if somebody from Multiple Foundation or somebody from other foundation that are focusing to improve STEM.
mm,
I think it would be great to be in contact with you to see how we can make STEM. I mean, how can we provide quality education together? You understand?
mm,
And if there are other schools that have funding and they say, "Hey, we got the tablets, we got the funding, let's get the app," we can always make sure that we are able to deliver the app. But as much as we are not talking about the consumers. For other consumers who are really interested in the app, we still got free app in our app store. If you go to App Store, both App Store, you can search Sisanda App Universe, then you'll get all our app. If you want to support us, you can buy the t-shirt and then you can start, exploring and learning cool stuff from there. So and then for funders or possible funders who will definitely be interested
mm,
to engage, like how can we actually build this thing? I said to my team now that we are rebuilding that to say, hey guys, we're gonna rebuilding the Beju of Africa. If you know Beju, it's a big tech startup from India. It's showing India. It has a whole market in India there.
mm,
And the next move, the next predictable move that they're going to make is to either try to penetrate America, but if they can't, then the next big market would be Africa.
Africa, yeah.
So they have to, yeah, they have to have two options when they get here. It's either they acquire us, or as we are too big not to be acquired, and we can go
It
face
can
to
be,
face. So
yeah.
So that's what we're looking at them. When they're looking at this, I'm just saying to them, we're not yet fighting. If they want to acquire us and make us dear, we could always talk. If not, we're gonna go in strength from strength to make sure that when they come, we are also here, you
You
know.
meet at equal footing.
Yeah,
I like the way you think. I mean, it goes beyond just the scope of where you are, but being a visionary to see, certain moves that may happen in future, and you
yeah, yeah.
preparing yourself for those moves as and when they happen. But lastly, I just wanted to sort of, ask in terms of augmented reality and its advancements, what are you eyeing? What sort of, advancements are you eyeing in the space of AR that you would potentially incorporate into your product?
Yeah. So for people who like, so I got a pseudo name called Super Malome. It's at Super Malome on Instagram. People could go there. This is where I share most of my research, where I
Mm,
share most of like demos, like stuff that I play with. So last year I was playing with the metaverse and I learned a lot from the metaverse. So one thing about the metaverse, VR, AR, all the thing included is
mm,
now we are able to regenerate certain worlds where we can put learners into. We can transport learners to Mars and we can
mm,
have them as a field trip. They can hear each other. They can all communicate into one thing. So I've been playing around there to actually understand this concept of metaverse a lot and how all the cryptocurrencies are fitting. Because me, I don't like to read. I just like to do this thing.
mm,
So AR and VR are gonna be big. I never usually want to compare which one's gonna be much bigger, but I think AR will be. It's easy for everybody to access it now.
mm,
But VR, as soon as everybody accesses it, they might start to spend their time there. So I foresee where in the future that a child somewhere in Rwanda could be connecting with headsets or could be connecting via augmented reality to chat with my nephew who's here in Botshabelo and are making homeworks, but they feel visually they are there. So that's
mm.
the beautiful thing about this technology that I'm